Hi, my name is Kelly Thorne, and I'm a psychologist here in CAPS, and I oversee our counseling and sports psychology services in athletics. On behalf of the CAPS staff, we want to welcome the class of 2024 to UVM. We know that you're starting college in an unusual and uncertain time, and we want to make sure that you are aware of support services available to you while you're here at UVM. Joining me today is Dr. Michael Upton, one of our psychiatrists in CAPS, and he's going to answer some questions about seeking psychiatry services. And just want to check in, Michael, and see if there's anything you'd like to say about yourself before we get started.
Sure, thanks, Kelly. And I also want to extend my welcome to the class of 2024. This will be my 17th or 18th year at CAPS. It's a great place to work, and UVM's long been part of my life. I graduated from the College of Medicine in 1994 and was happy to come back and continue to be part of the Catamount community.
Great. Well, thank you for taking the time to answer some questions. How does a student know if they need to see a psychiatrist?
Well, students come to see us for a variety of reasons, the most common of which is because they're either already taking medicines that they'd like to have an on-campus provider for, or they're having problems with anxiety or depression, and they've either seen a therapist or they've just been curious about whether medication can be helpful. And we can help them sort that out, first with talking to the front desk staff about where an appointment might be best scheduled, sometimes talking to our counselors to see what other things might be helpful, but then coming to see a psychiatrist is oftentimes a part of answering that question.
Okay, thank you. Is Psychiatry Services in CAPS the only place that a student could seek help in terms of either getting medication prescribed or continuing to manage their medication?
No, not at all. We work very closely with student health services. So they sometimes see people for the first time and start medication, continue medication, answer students' questions, change medications. We have some students too who simply find a provider in the community, and that's fine. And we're happy to help students find those resources if they would like to. Sometimes students who are seen initially at student health services will find that there are questions that they want to bring directly to a psychiatrist because it's what we do all the time. If people have a question about that, the front desk staff, when they do a psych screen to make an appointment for someone, can sometimes help sort that through by answering a number of questions about history and what the student would like to get out of the experience.
Okay, great. If a student takes medication that's prescribed by a provider in their hometown, should they make a change in terms of who manages the medication?
That's probably best decided after a conversation with that provider at home. Some providers are very comfortable doing that, either because of the proximity, the number of times a year the student will be home, the length of time they knew the student. And sometimes providers at home are really much more comfortable suggesting the student have a provider on campus. Sometimes students transfer their care completely to us for the time that they're UVM students, and sometimes they're sort of co-care, and that can be collaborated with and managed very well if that's in the best interest of the student and what everybody wants to do.
Okay. Are there costs associated with seeing a psychiatrist in CAPS?
There are. So all of the Center for Health and Wellbeing clinical services, in order to access them, students pay a student health fee, which is part of their comprehensive fee. To see the psychiatry staff, there are also fees on top of that. If students purchase the health insurance through the university, the initial visit is covered 100%, and then there's a copay per visit after that. Any other students who have other insurance, the charge goes directly to their bill, and then they can work with their insurance company to be reimbursed for that. Some insurance companies will do that, some won't. We're happy to talk to people. UVM, CHWB, and CAPS are all committed to students getting the care they need, regardless of whether or not the fee and the costs are a barrier. So if that's a problem for students, we really hope they'll talk to us about it.
Okay. What if insurance doesn't cover a student to be seen at CAPS?
So there are multiple ways to manage that. Sometimes what the easiest and best solution is for the student to follow with the student health services, because they have a good relationship with a provider there, and it's a comfortable thing for the provider and the student. Sometimes people choose to go off campus to find a provider who will bill their insurance and get reimbursed. If students have a real barrier to pay and that's going to interfere with their ability to get the care they need, then they should talk to the provider about waivers that are available.
Okay, great. Do students have to be on or want to take medication to see a psychiatrist?
Most of the students we see either come to us with a question about whether or not they should be on medicine, or they already are or have been and want to restart medicine or continue it. There's no contractual obligation to take medicine when you get an appointment with a psychiatrist, and we do consults every year, every semester for students who, after we've done the evaluation and had a conversation with them, either we don't recommend medicine or recommend something else, or they decide that medicine isn't something they want to do after they've had the conversation with us.
Okay. Are there any other information that you'd like students to know about in terms of psychiatry services that we haven't covered?
I'll just let people know there are 3 of us that are working at CAPS right now. Dr. Ann Clegg is another psychiatrist who's full-time through the school year, and Peter Bordelon is a very experienced psychiatric nurse practitioner who works with us part-time. We work very closely together, and we are always busy, but we're busy because we like to see students and do this work, and we hope will be helpful to anyone who needs our help.
Do you all as psychiatrists see students for any ongoing counseling?
There are some times when that's the best fit for the student and for the student's care. And if students are interested in that, they should certainly talk to us. It's not the most common way that things are done because of the limited availability of our psychiatric staff. But if it's something a student's interested in, they should talk to us about it.
Great. I think those are all the questions that I have at this point, unless there's anything else you'd like to add.
No, thank you, Kelly. And again, welcome to the class of 2024.
Okay, thank you.